George Lucas' ex-wife.
I read this whole thing.
Marcia Lucas has some harsh words about Star Wars sequel trilogy. Okay,
vicious.
Kathy Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get the Jedi story. They don't get the magic of Star Wars. She said via Star Wars Direct.
She's an awesome editor.
She is amazing. I want to marry this woman right now.
She's the one that okay. So when
it's fire.
George brought in the assembly cut of Star Wars, it sucked.
Really?
And then so she came in and he asked her rather to re-edit his movie, and that's what we got. And that's what fucking started everything. So this lady knows Star Wars.
Oh, look at this. What's this? Lions at Packers. Are they playing right now, Anthony?
No, not for another hour and a half.
No.
Speaking of which, there's something that I do need to address. So next Sunday, the Niners are playing the Green Bay Packers, and they're gonna whoop that ass. So I was wondering that.
Oh no!
Dang!
He's like, ain't no thing.
I was almost gonna ask Anthony, like, "Hey, let's do this. Let's watch the game together, and we'll stream live. We won't show the game. It'll just be on us." No. And we'll just talk to each other. Fuck yeah!
It'll be kind of like when Anthony starts drinking, he'll just get more serious as the game goes on.
That should be a fun game.
Hey, at least
a cybernetic organism, living tissue over metal endoskeleton.
I'm like, Anthony, what did you say? You had a question about the game?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Oh, okay.
No, do you have the drop of "Stop eating everybody's lunches"?
No, I don't have that one. I have this one.
No shit.
It starts spitting out all the food.
Stop eating all the lunches.
Stop eating everybody's lunches.
What? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Marcia Lucas straight did not hold back. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to choose a little bit of violence today." Straight
exactly.
Fired some shots.
Let's go to our resident narrator, Mr. Ryan Zierfeld. Ryan, will you read this to us, please?
Oh no.
Yes, I believe I can.
Okay, here we go.
Do it.
I like Kathleen. I always liked her. Says Marcia Lucas.
Is she British?
Beans.
Why
she's really smart and really
why is she?
Because it's
really wonderful human being. And I liked her husband, Frank Marshall, for all you people who don't know. I liked them a lot. Now she's running Lucasfilm and making movies. It seems to me that Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a fucking clue about Star Wars. They just don't get it. And then J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. Fuck. When I saw the movies, they killed Han Solo. I was furious. I said, "Stupid bitch."
You sound like a fucking Dobby.
Stupid bitch. I was furious.
Oh, wait. We have a request. Please, no, we're not going to do the Mikey Sutton voice.
Oh, no. I can't. That's all Andre. I cannot do that. My voice won't allow. Absolutely, positively, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I thought, you don't even get the Jedi story. You don't get the magic of story. You don't get rid of Han Solo. And then at the end, the last Jedi, they have Luke disintegrate. They kill Han Solo. They kill Luke Skywalker. They put fucking Carrie Fisher in a coma. And they don't have Princess Leia anymore, unfortunately. And they're spitting out movies every year. And they think it's important to appeal to the woman audience.
Cum bubble.
Ninnies. So their main character is female, who's supposed to have Jedi powers. But we don't know how she got the flippin' powers or who the fuck she is. Sucks. The storylines are terrible. Just terrible. Awful. You can quote me on that.
She did say that.
J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, fuck off.
Now, please say Dobby wants a suck. Dobby got a suck.
The Masters presented Dobby a sock.
Thank you.
Dobby is free.
Harry Potter is going to Hogwarts.
The more I think about this, I can understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I'm just like, Han Solo wanted to die at the end of Return of the Jedi.
He wanted to die, yes.
Yeah,
So he wanted to die because he wanted to end that career. And he was like, just give me Indiana Jones because I star in Indiana Jones.
Right.
I co-star in this shit.
Right. But outside of that, I can understand where she's coming from.
You know, I'm curious because there's somebody out there who's a huge Star Wars fan, and he's also a huge supporter of the sequel trilogy. And I wonder, when he read this, I feel like I know his reaction.
No!
Oh God!
I think secretly under his breath he was like, "Well, she is right."
She was like, "No, yes." So that was what was it? Marcia Lucas.
Marcia Lucas. She is the ex-wife of George. She is the editor of the original Star Wars: A New Hope. She did a fantastic job, and if anybody knows Star Wars, it's her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she made it what it is today. Everyone went to the fucking theaters and made that thing enormous.
What makes you wonder, like, what was his cut of the movie like? It must have been bad.
It was boring. They said it was very boring. And so she trimmed out a lot, to be honest. She made it a little bit more quicker. That was one of his things on set. He was like, can you do it faster and more intense? But his cut of the movie was still kind of dragged on a little bit. So she definitely helped it out. She was a big part of it. So
okay, interesting indeed. Well, she had some choice words, and I mean, honestly, I agree with her.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I will say Kathleen has made a little bit of, I think, a better choice with getting Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and those guys and kind of running the Disney Plus whatever and all that. So and I do agree too. She probably doesn't Kathleen doesn't know the story of Star Wars very well, but she has made those.
No, she should because she's been Spielberg and Lucas and Frank's producer for the longest time, so she has intimate knowledge of these franchises.
Right.
I mean, she's produced some of the biggest movies that you guys have watched.
Right.
And she's just not. She's an awesome producer, but being a
figurehead.
The figurehead of Lucasfilm, she's really let things get out of hand. Like there was the Star Wars celebration they did, celebration for like right after Last Jedi, before the Rise of Skywalker. The lights went down. They played the trailer. Lights went back up. She was already on stage because she didn't want to get booed when she was walking across.
So yeah, I mean, they're definitely playing damage control. They're like, okay, let's just make it as easy as possible. Get her in and out.
Mm-hmm.
No shots fired. Just get her out of here.
Star Wars had a shit ton of content.
I cannot not remember those first divided reactions, the Rise of Skywalker after that first week. People were just.
But I mean, at that point, to me, at that point, it was such an uphill battle to try and redeem the sequel trilogy after Last Jedi because it was so divisive, and either you hated it or you loved it.
Well, to be honest, the worst mistake that they made, in my opinion, was after the release of The Last Jedi, they shouldn't have just said, okay, let's make one more movie. They should have said, let's make as many movies as it takes to get the story to where it needs to be, and let it sort of organically, correct itself, as the timeline moves on, and they didn't have to rush. Like the Rise of Skywalker was just a rush from start to finish, done. And so So that one's like it was an uphill battle for JJ. You know, oh there you go. That's dope.
TNT did Man of Steel, now Wonder Woman.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead. Sorry.
He just cut him off.
And it was dope. And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
It really sucks that movie was a rush job because of the circumstances surrounding it too.
And the problem
just it happens.
That you can tell while you're watching the movie, there's like check boxes that they had to make. You know, it was like, wow, that's really odd. That it's like it really suffered. You know, because I mean, I understood what they were doing with The Force Awakens in that it was set up just like A New Hope and The Phantom Menace because it's an introduction story.
But
so
it
I
didn't
get
need to be, but like I'd still out of all three of them, that was the only one that it worked to a degree.
It worked to a degree, but I mean, when you go back and look at it, you start figuring out the whole thing with Rey, like she just fails upwards. That started in the Phantom Menace. I'm not the Phantom Menace. I'm sorry. That started in the
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. And then they just kept going because the whole narrative for that, and not to go off on the whole thing, was that they were just like no females can't fail. And the problem is that you need to take the female aspect out of it and just say this hero needs to fail so that we can go on the journey with them and find out how do they redeem themselves and make themselves stronger. And with her, it was never the case. She was just stronger and nobody knew how. And they were like, well, it's because she's a Palpatine. Like, what?
No context.
Like that just because you're related to, somebody that has talent doesn't mean that you automatically have that talent too. I mean, you can look at many different iterations of like where children are not as talented
Luke
as
Skywalker and Darth Vader.
Yeah. I mean, Vader was a hell of a lot more powerful. The only thing that made the difference was that he didn't have all of his organic tissue. He was a machine, and he couldn't, he didn't have as much connection to the Force.
He couldn't move.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't move. So I mean, if it was Anakin versus Luke, Anakin would have killed him. If it was just untouched Anakin, I think he would have whooped the shit out of his son.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
He would have. And see, like that's what bothers me the most. Not the most, but one of the things that bothered me about the sequel trilogy was that when you had here we go. So when you had Kylo Ren going against Finn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a trained Jedi, Sith, whatever you want to call Kylo Ren, somebody who's trained in the Jedi arts,
Ways of the Force.
Mm-hmm. Ways of the Force. Thank you. Going against Finn, who's a trained stormtrooper. And Finn is able to like hurt him. I don't care if he got shot by Chewbacca's fucking crossbow. He should have whipped his ass. He should have just been like bam, 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 and the same kind of thing. Oh!
I mean, to be honest with you, if you're a Force user like Kylo,
a Force user sounds a little druggy.
If I'm sorry, but he was a heavy user. Heavy user. He should have been able to, like at the beginning of the movie, where I like that when he stopped the bullet. Or not bullet. I'm sorry, laser. I was like, dude, that's dope. I like that.
But what was cool about that was that had never been done before.
It never been done.
New. We were like,
it was something new, and it showed just how powerful he could be. Whereas at the end of the movie, when he got shot with the bowcaster, he could have not used his lightsaber at all against Finn and just used the Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that would have been like, wow, man, this guy didn't even have to lift a finger almost. He's that strong. And he just kind of leaves Finn for dead because his attention is on Rey, who, I guess isn't related to him anymore.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to be like siblings somehow.
They were supposed to be cousins. They even said that in a Disney game. Oh, wow. And even Daisy Ridley herself said that they kept coming to her and telling her different things.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you have the interview with Kathleen Kennedy where they go, was Palpatine always the plan from the beginning? Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking liar!
Lying!
And of course, the Phantom Menace jumped all over her, but that's pretty obvious.